Please, I took time just praying and saying, "Your Lord, I hope I don't blow this or miss it." You know, I am overwhelmed by the presence of God. The presence of God. And tonight I want to say to us, let us honor the presence of God. Let us honor it. Let us not treat it with disdain or treat it cheaply. Let us honor the presence of God. If you come across a great person, no, great, and you see their humility, their accessibility, it overwhelms you. Is that not so? You looked at them from a distance, you drew your own conclusions that because of who they are and because of what they are, it will be an honor for me to spend time in the same environment with them, not necessarily close to them, but just in the same environment. It overwhelms you. I was laughing this past week. I was looking for something in one of my cupboards in the office, and going through stuff that I had forgotten about, that is lying there. I saw a few pictures and letters that I had framed. A letter that were framed. And I started like, what was this all about? And I came across one which you won't believe who wrote it to me. I invited him. Hey, I invited him to an event that we hosted in town. And he wrote me back, apologizing that he won't make it, wishing us well and wishing us success in the event, and committing that next time we host a similar event, we must not shun from inviting him. If he finds time, he will come. And it's signed at the bottom, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. I thought, yeah, when Mandela ukubhalele, and he did. That was 1995. How does that make you feel? You are overwhelmed by realizing how accessible the person that you honor and respect is to you. Think about God, the creator of the universe. I didn't say the creator of Umtata. I said the universe. Everything we see spins in the palm of his hand. The reason why the seas are not flooding the earth, he gave them the boundary. No matter how high the tide is, you are not going to go past this boundary. That God calls you his friend, and he has come to dwell in you, not only in us, but in you. Honor that presence. Honor that presence. I like what they say about angels. I respect these old saints who were before us. He wrote a hymn. He wrote a hymn. Uthi zibona ingilosi.
The angels
ziqwalasele futhi ezantsi.
were gazing down below,
zibona isimanga.
being an omen
emnqamlezweni.
on the cross.
The angels could not comprehend that.
Azikwazi ukuyiqonda ingelosi lento.
The God they know
Lo Thixo zimaziyo
how great He is.
ubukhulu nobunganga
But
bakhe.
on that Friday,
Kodwa ngalwesihlanu
they saw Him on the cross.
sambona
They could not
emnqamlezweni.
believe this.
Azayikholelwa into.
He did it
Wayenza ke
to come and dwell in us.
ukuze akwazi uzohlala nakuthi.
We are carriers
Thina ngoku singabathwali
of His presence.
bobukho bakhe.
Honor that.
Ihloniphe ke
Don't
lo.
take it for granted.
Ungayithathi ngengqalo.
Amen.
Ungayithathi kancinci.
Honor that.
Ihloniphe.
Right? So, I'm just praying really in the spirit that God will help me. We communicate this. We've read before
Sifundile ke
in the
ngaphambili.
book of Exodus 25, verse
Kwincwadi
8.
Exodus 25
We
verse
went
8.
through the whole chapter.
Sayifundisa hloko sonke.
But in verse 8, it says,
Kodwa ke kula verse
You
yesibhozo
build an ark
uzawundakhela
according to
ikeya
the pattern that I give you,
ngokwendlela enza kukuxelela ngayo.
because I want to come and dwell
Ngokuba ndifuna ukuza ndizohlala
amongst my people.
phakathi kwabantu bam.
So the ark
Ikeya ke
represented,
yayimele
or it carried,
okanye
the
yayithwele
presence of God.
ubukho
So
bukaThixo.
when Israel moved,
Xa
as they
uShirayeli
were journeying to the promised land,
wayehamba
Right?
uhambo lwabo luya
as they were moving from one side to the other,
besuka kule ndawo besiya
not only
kwenye
did they carry whatever belongings they had,
babengaphathi nje kuphela izinto
but
zabo
the most special item
kodwa eyona
they could
yayibalulekile
not afford to leave behind
ababengenokwazi
was
ukuyishiya
the
ngemva
ark of the covenant.
yayiyityeya
You know why?
yomfanekiso ngokuba
It carried
yona
the
yayithwele
presence of God.
ubukho
So when
bukaThixo.
the presence of God is in is in our midst,
ubukho bukaThixo buphakathi kwethu,
everything else is taken care
enye
of.
nenye into iyalungiselelwa.
All right? We will look into that on
Sayijonga ke
Sunday.
loo nto ngecawa.
Everything else is taken care of.
Yonke ke enye into
The
iyalungiselelwa.
worst place you can be
Eyona ndawo embi
as a child of God,
onozifumane kuyo ungumntwana
it's in
kaThixo,
the absence
kwindawo
of the
yokungabikho
presence of God.
obukho bukaThixo.
Because in that place,
Ngoba kuloo ndawo
not only are you vulnerable,
awukho sesichengeni nje kuphela
but you are a target.
kodwa ngoku kujoliswe kuwe.
But you want to be safe.
Ube
We just sang it
ufuna
now.
ukhuseleka ke.
We just sang it
Sigqiba
now.
ukuyicula ngoku
That I am safe
sithi ndikhuselekile
in the shadow of the
ethunzini
Almighty God.
likaThixo phezulu.
If I want to be safe,
Uba ndifuna
let me
ukhuseleka
dwell in His shadow.
mandihlala apha
Let me
ethunzini lakhe.
allow the presence of God
Ndivume ubukho bukaThixo
to be constantly
buhlale buthe gqolo,
present, not only in my mind,
bungapheleli nje
but in
engqondweni yam,
how I carry myself.
kodwa nakwindlela endiziphatha
As I
ngayo.
walk around
Njengoko ndihamba
and
nje
I walk into a challenge,
ndihamba ndingena emngeni,
let me be
ngaxeleka
conscious
emngeni,
of this.
mandiyiqonde le
I
into,
am walking into
ukuba
this challenge
ndingena kulo mngeni
carrying the presence of God.
ndithwele ubukho bukaThixo.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
When I walk into a great time,
Xa ndingena kwixesha
I am
elimnandi,
walking into that
ndingena kwelo lixa,
carrying the presence of God.
ndithwele ubukho bukaThixo.
I remember when we started in ministry,
Khumbula uqala kwethu ke
you don't want to
kulungiselelo.
know the pressure that was there.
Awurhalele uyazi uxinezelo
Carrying the
sasikulo
title,
ke.
carrying the title,
Uphethe
Pastor.
isicoco esithi
where
ngumfundisi.
everybody expected
Apho wonke umuntu
that when you
alindele
show up,
ukuba usakuvela
God is here.
uThixo lapha.
So you walk around, you like, oh God,
Uhamba usithi, "Oh, Nkosi yami,
ungandiphoxi.
please don't disappoint
Ngoba
me,
abantu bacinga uba ndingumntu.
because these people trust me."
I made a very conscious thing in my life.
Ndaye ndenza into isigqibo
If I am
esiqinileyo
asked to
ebomini
go and
bam.
pray for somebody sick,
Ukuba ndicela
in their
ukuba
home,
manje
in hospital,
ndiyothandazela
wherever,
ogulayo ekhayeni lakhe,
this is
esibhedlele,
what I
noba
would
ku-
say on the way there.
Nantsi ke into endiyithethe
I would
endleleni
say,
yam.
Lord,
Ndiye ndithi, "Nkosi,
I am not taking Dawn there,
andithathi umna
but
uya
Dawn is
phaa,
carrying you.
kodwa mna ndithwele wena.
So I have nothing to offer.
Andinayo into mna
I can't work it
endinokunikezela
out
yona.
in my mind.
Andinako uyiqiqa
When I
engqondweni
get
yam.
there,
Xa ndifika phaya,
I must just do this,
kufuneka
touch
ndivele
them,
ndenzele into
do that.
ifana.
No, I can't.
Andinako.
Because the moment I do that in the
Ngokukhe
flesh,
ndayenza loo nto enyameni,
nothing will happen.
akho nto iza kwenzeka.
I have to know.
Ndimele ukuba ndazi.
You know, we went to a house in Gangelisha.
Saya komnye umzi apha engangelizwe.
Yo, I've never seen such. Men, among other things,
Phakathi kwezinto
they wouldn't sleep.
babengakwazi ulala.
on the roof, it's at a certain time in the evening, was it midnight or early hours of the morning, it would be like sand or stone or thrown on the roof. So they wouldn't sleep. So they would ask us, please come and pray. I would ask, but what is the problem? Asilali.
We can't sleep.
Ngexesha lolala,
When we're supposed to sleep,
kuphoswa isandi apha phezu kwendlu.
someone is throwing
not
sand
like
on the roof.
No, it's like wow.
And it's pouring.
So there we are with my wife.
Nako ke silapho nonkosikazi.
Siyapha kulaa mzi.
We go to this house.
Akuzela unomsi uyekile ngabe siya
She's
iqoma.
so drowsy.
As we get in there, ndithi Nkosi,
Asingena,
ndithi Nkosi,
I say, Lord,
if besikushiye emva,
if we had left you behind,
iyawuphuma nathi le sand apha.
we will take this thing with us.
Unphose. We need to know
Sidinga ukwazi
we are not bringing ourselves.
ukuba asizisi
We're
thina,
carrying your presence.
siphethe wena.
We sat there.
Sahlala pha.
It's a very poor household.
Ngabantu ke abangathathi intweni.
Right at back ilenga ngele. We sat there at night.
Sahlala pha ebusuku,
Silindile.
waiting
Silindi sand.
for the sand.
Siphelile indaba. Asaba sawuncokola nona
There's
lo mama.
nothing to talk about anymore.
Silindi sand.
We're waiting for the sand.
I keep asking uthi mama iyefike
Mane
ngabantu.
ndimbuza, Mama,
She
what
says,
time did you say
around
this
about
thing?
this time.
Uthi athi yabona
I said,
ngalama
okay,
xesha, ngalama xesha.
okay. So we sit.
Sihlale ke
After an hour,
emva kweyure.
ndithi make mama.
Wait,
You mean by this time?
uzama ukuthi ke ngeli xesha.
Ziyaduma. Uthi you this time.
Uthi ha,
Ndithi okay. Silinde.
we wait.
12:30.
Bethu 12:30.
Uyozela lo mama.
This lady is now drowsy.
Ndithi himake ma. Xa sinokhululeka ngoku.
If you could release us
Uthi hayi
now.
ndicela ningakhawulezi
She
nihambe.
says, no, please.
Izawubuya le.
Don't leave quickly. This thing will come back.
My wife ukobudubuthongo apha esitulweni ndithi no makalali. So akulalanga Thixo. Ulele yena uThixo
Yeah,
kuye
God is-
uhleli. So
God is not
we
asleep.
carrying
Sithwele
his presence.
ubukho bakhe.
2:30
Go 2:30
we left.
sahamba.
That evening
Golo rhatya
there was no sand.
zange kubekho santi.
Who was it?
Ubani?
It was not us.
Yayingesithi
You are carrying
uthwele
the presence
ubukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
Don't work it out in your mind.
Ungazama ukuyigqiba engqondweni ke
You're gonna mess things up.
uzawumosha.
When I get there,
Yabo xa
I'm gonna
ndifika pha
take it.
ndizovele nje
Hey.
ndithi
You are carrying
uthwele
the presence
ubukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
So you don't go there
Ungayi ke phaya
with this thing worked out in your mind.
lento sowuyigqibile apha
In your
engqondweni.
job,
Emsebenzini
I
wakho
don't care how tough things are.
nokuba kunzima kangakanani
Carry the
thwala
presence
ubukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
We're sitting in an office, embassy, the American embassy, to
Sihleli-
renew our visas
Eofisini yeambasi yakapha eMelika
at Durban.
siyohlaziya
You know that you go by
iivisa
invite. You
zethu.
don't just show up.
Uyamenywa ke pha uvele
They
uthi
send you an email, come on this
Bayamthumela,
date. So
bathi zanga lo
very
mhla.
few people were sitting there.
bambalwa kabantu
And
sihleli
you
pha,
just walk in and say, no.
Singene.
They call you.
babiza.
And we're all sitting there. And then there was this young guy,
Kubekho lo mfana
a Zulu guy. They called him.
umZulu, bambiza
When they called him, he rushed to his bag,
aleqe kwibhegi
sitting
yakhe.
next to us.
Uhlela apha ecala kwethu
He took out wakupa plasticanyana.
akhupha iplastic.
Hey, and he started taking.
Ankwefaka izinto eqaba.
Fake plastic in what? I thought, okay. That's what he's carrying.
Yaqoba hawu uthwele laa nto
But
ke yena.
what are we carrying?
Kodwa ke thina sithweleni
The presence
ubukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
Are you getting the message?
Uyayibona le nto?
It's not pastors who
Ayingobefundisi
carry the presence of God.
abathwala ubukho
It's
bukaThixo.
every born again child of
Umntwana
God
ngamnye kaThixo
who
ozelwe
honors,
ngokuthwa,
who honors
ohlonipha
the presence of God.
ubukho bukaThixo.
In other words, when I want to go
Ngamanye amazwi ke xa
to
ndifuna
where Christians are not supposed to go,
ukuya
and by the
kwindawo
way,
amaKrestu
by the way,
angamelanga ukuya kuzo, phofu ke
There are places
zikhona
we
indawo
are not supposed to go
esingamelanga ukuya kuzo
because of who we are.
ngenxa yokuba singoba
We are carrying
thina
the
sithwele
presence
ubukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
Before you go there,
Phambi kokuba uye phaya
remind yourself,
zikhumbuze
is that where I am taking
ngaba ndisa
the
apho
presence of God
ubukho bukaThixo
to
na
do what?
buyokwenzani?
We are carriers of
Singabathwali
the presence
bobukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
The moment you show up there,
Uqala kwakho ukuvela pha
you're gonna live to regret that
uzawuphilela ukuzisola
because you
ngoba wena
have nothing special.
awunayo into oxabiseke ngayo.
You stand in front of people,
Ume phambi kwabantu
carry the presence
uphethe uthwele ubukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
I'm invited to I don't know what that thing was, but they had all these intellectual people there. So
Ndandinyenyiwe ke kulo mnyhadala kukho abantu ke noko
up in
baqhele
Joburg, and
ngapha eGoli.
we had a guy in our church who thought he was very smart. So
Kumfana kapha ekonzoni wayecinga uba noko
he heard that I'm going there,
weva kuba ndiyaphaya.
and he offered
Hayi
to write me a paper.
wathi ayimfundisi ndibhalele
So I thought,
iphepha.
thank you.
Ndaqonda uba
Hayi
enkosi.
nami ndizawuba ngumntu uba ndizotsho uba libhalwanga ndim, ndizawuba-
I'm going to use this and
So,
not even say
I was
it
very
was not
excited.
mine.
Yeah, I'm going.
Ndiyavuya ke ndiyaphaya.
So the guy facilitating,
Lona kulawula yonke lento.
he introduces all the speakers.
Athethe ke sazisa zonke izithethi.
So nam ndiyaqomba ndinomshudo nento
And you know, I
ndiyiphetheyo
thought
secret.
I've got
Bazawuva.
my own by shot here.
So he introduces all the speakers.
Azazise
So
zonke ke izithethi.
who is this and that, and
Lo
he's been
ngubani bani,
there.
lo wangubani, lo
Hey,
wa.
and the crowd, yeah.
Hayi ke abantu
Then he
ke
says, after
bahlaselekile.
him, it's so and so.
Athi emva kwakho ke
Who,
ngubani
wara,
bani,
wara,
ngubani
wara,
bani.
wara. After him,
Emva kwakhe ke
it's
ibe
so
ngubani
and so.
bani, ibe ngubani bani.
After her,
Emva
it's so
kwakhe
and
ngubani bani.
Hey, and then he says, so enjoy
Athi ke
the day.
nilonwabele ke bethu
And he says,
usuku.
oh, by the way,
Azothi
there is also this other brother who's here with us.
wethu kanene lapha.
That's me, that
Ndim
other
ke
brother.
lowo
So
ke.
I'm sitting there, ndizawundiva.
Ngihleli phaa and I'm thinking, you know, he's gonna hear me.
Once they were giving their best,
Ngoba batshoyo
Hey.
bagalela
a
nyani.
thought hit me.
Kwakhona nje ingcinga
Who
efikileyo.
are you bringing here?
Uze nabani apha?
Are you bringing this?
Uzise eli bhayishoti?
Is this what you carry?
Ingaba yile nto oyithweleyo?
No, I took that thing.
Ndayithatha laa nto
Ayishwabanisa.
and I squashed it,
Ayifaka epokothweni.
put it in my
And I
pocket.
said, Lord,
Ndathi Nkosi,
masiyohlazeka sobabili.
let's go and be embarrassed together there.
If uyahlazeka masiya.
If you're gonna be embarrassed, let's
Siyohlazeka
go and
sobabili.
let's just be embarrassed together.
After the whole thing,
Emva kwayo
the
yonke
facilitator,
umlawuli
he's a
lo ke
fat guy, big guy.
indoda apha enkulu
He
ke
stood up.
wesukuma
He runs to the podium.
baleka
He
wayeqongeni
meets me walking down the stairs.
uhlangabeza
He
ndisehla
grabs me.
andibambe
Jesus, takes the
andiqinise
mic.
athathe umboko
This is my son.
athi ngunyana wam lo
This is my son in the Lord.
Unyana wam
Rubbish.
lo.
The other brother is now your son.
Ngoku ujikile
Listen to
ngoku.
me.
Mamela
You show up there,
ukufe
you are
ufike
nothing
lapho, akho
but the
yakho.
other brother, the
Kodwa
other sister.
ungomyenzi,
But
umzalwane,
if you
umdade
know
wena. Kodwa ubuyazazi
I am a carrier,
uba mna ndingumthwali.
it's not human intellect.
Le nto
Paul
ayiko-
says to the church in
ayikufika
Corinth,
kwingqondo yakho.
I did not come
Uthi
to
uPawulos
you
baseKorinte, andizanga
with the
kuthi
power of
ngamandla
worldly wisdom,
nobulumko
with
belihlabayo,
eloquence of speech.
nobuciko
He says, I
bokuthetha.
came to
Uthi
you
ndize
to
kuni
demonstrate
ndizobonakalisa
the power of the gospel,
amandla
which is
evangeli
foolishness
elibubudeke
to those who are perishing,
kwaba batshabalalayo.
but to us who are saved,
Kodwa kuthi thina
it is the
sisindiswe
power of God.
singamandla
We are
kaThixo.
carriers.
Singabathwali.
We are carriers of the presence.
Singabathwali bobukho.
You might not have
Usenongabi nayo
the appearance,
inkangeleko,
but you need to know
kodwa udinga ukwazi
who you are carrying.
ubuthwele bani na.
God said,
Uthi
I
Thixo,
want to come and dwell
ngifuna ukuza
amongst them.
ndizohlala phakathi kwabo
He is in me.
ukum
He is in you.
ukuwe
We are carriers
ngabathwali
of the presence of God.
ubukho bukaThixo
You will occupy platform
uyawuhamba amaqonga
which in the
ngamaqonga
natural
ngokwemveli
you don't deserve to be there.
ongafanelanga uba kuwo
But you know what?
kodwa uyazi
The Bible says your
ithi
gifting
iBhayibhile isibabalo
makes
sakho
room for you.
sikuvulela
You
indawo
are carrying
uthwele
the presence of God.
ubukho bukaThixo
I don't care what you do.
andikhathali noba wenzani
Be conscious of this.
iqonde le nto
You go to sleep tonight,
xa uyolala namhlanje
there is sand on the roof.
kube kukho isandla
Walk into your house
ngena endlwini
and say, Yo, I was not aware.
uthi
But
bendingaqondi
tonight,
kodwa namhlanje
I am sleeping here,
uyalala
carrying the presence of God.
ubukho
He is
bukaThixo
not asleep.
akalelanga yena
You challenge me.
ukuba uhlaba
You
ungena,
challenging him.
umhlaba kuye
Let us see who's going to win.
sawubona ozawuphumelela
Oh, hallelujah.
haleluya
Let's see who's going to win.
masijonge
We are
ozawuphumelela
carriers
singabathwali
of the presence of God.
bobukho bukaThixo
So let's honor that.
masiyihloniphe loo nto
Right. I wanted us to read this, but okay, in the next 40 minutes. No, in the next short period of time. 1 Samuel chapter 4.
incwadi
I just want to read this.
sahloko sesesine
As I say, we will carry on Sunday. I'm reading in the New Living Translation.
ndiyifunda ke kule
It
nguqulo
reads
kuthiwa
as follows, verse
i-New-
1.
New Living ifunda
At
ke
that
ngolu hlobo.
time,
ngelo lixa
Israel, everybody say Israel,
usirayeli masithi usirayeli
it represents the church,
omele ke ibandla ke
was at war with the Philistines.
wayesilwa imfazwe namafilistiya
Just like now,
kanye njengangoku
we are at war with
Ukuba nathi
Babylon.
sisilwa imfazwe
Babylon will
neBhabheli.
fall.
ibhabheli iza
I
kuwa
don't care what form it takes.
nokuba
I don't
izawuvela
care what
ngolunye
what shape it
nokuba
has taken,
izawube kanjani
but we are declaring
kodwa
war against
siyavakalisa
Babylon,
imfazwe
not
kwiBhabheli,
in our midst.
hayi phakathi kwethu
Babylon will fall.
iBhabheli
So
iza kuwa.
Israel was at war
uSirayeli ke
with the
wayese-
Philistines.
wayesemfazweni
So the
namafilisti
Israelite army
umkhosi
was
kaSirayeli
camped near Ebenezer,
wawunkampe kufutshane
and the
neEbeneza
Philistines were at Aphek.
abafilistiya
Right?
eseAfeki
The Philistines attacked
amafilisti
and defeated
ahlasela
the army of Israel,
aloyisa umkhosi
killing
kaSirayeli
4,000 men.
ebulala amawaka amane amadoda
Ask yourself this question:
sibuze ke lo mbuzo
where was God?
wayephi uThixo
If you read the preceding chapters,
ubufunda ke izahluko
they will
eziphambi
give you the context.
zakukunika kumxholo
There was a spirit of disobedience
kwakukho umoya
in the
wokungathobeli
camp of Israel,
kule nkampu kaSirayeli
where they did not honor
apho
the
babengahloniphi
presence of God.
ubukho bukaThixo
The leader at the time,
inkokheli
Eli,
ngelo xesha uEli
he was so permissive.
indlela
He
wayevula
allowed
ngayo
his children
wayeyeka abantwana
to
bakhe
run havoc,
benza unothanda
dishonor, disrespect the house of God.
indlu kaThixo
He allowed them to
wabavumela
venture into territories
uba bawungenana
they were not supposed to venture into. He just allowed them.
evula nje
And guess what happened?
cinga ke into
Here they
eyenzekayo
go out to war,
nako ke besiya emfazweni
not being the first time.
bengaqali
In the previous events,
kwiziganeko
God
ezidlulileyo,
was on their side.
uThixo wayengakuwo
They defeated great armies.
bezoyisa
But this time
intaba.
around,
kodwa ngeli xesha
they go to the battle
baye edabini
just like before.
njengesiqhelo
Who does that remind you of?
ukhumbuza abantu loo nto
You remember Samson,
uyamkhumbula usamsoni
who did not honor the presence of
ongazange
God,
abuhloniphe ubukho
who said to himself,
owazixelela
just
wathi,
like I've done before,
"Njengoba bendenzile
I'm going to do it
ngaphambili,
again.
ndizawuphinda
I'm going to
kwakhona.
rise up against my enemies.
Ndizawusukuma
The
kwiintaba
Bible
zam."
says, little did he
Ibhayibhile
know
ithi,
that
wayengasayazi
the glory of God
usuku lukaThixo
was gone.
seluhambile
You dishonor,
ukhe
you
wadelela,
don't respect,
wangahloniphi,
you don't value the
wangaxabisi
presence of God.
ubukho bukaThixo.
Don't go out to war.
ungaphumi uye edabini
So they lost and
Baphulukana-
died.
baphulukana nedabi
Verse 3.
babhubha. Ivesi
After the
yesithathu.
battle was over,
Emva kokuba idabi lidlulile,
the troops retreated to their camp.
babuyela enkampini yabo
And the elders of Israel
baze
asked,
abadala bakwaSirayeli
why did the Lord
bekutheni na
allow
inkosi
us to be defeated by the
ize
Philistines?
isivumele soyiswe
Child of God,
ngamaFilisti?
Are you defeated by things
ingaba nawe mntwana kaThixo kukho into
you were not supposed to be defeated by?
ebezingamelanga uba ziyakoyisa?
Have you asked why?
Bukhe wabuza uba kutheni?
It says, then they said,
Uthi baza bathi,
are you there with me?
ukunye nam,
Then they said,
baza bathi,
verse 4.
kwivesi yesine,
Let's read. Let's bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh.
masibuyise ityeyo
If we carry it
eShilo
into the battle with
ukuba
us,
siyithwele sayokungena edabini nathi,
we don't go there in our flesh.
singayi ngokwenyama
We
yethu,
go to battle
siye phaya edabini,
not with AK-47s
hayi
only.
ngengadla-ngadla
We will carry them. But
siziphathe
chief
zona.
amongst those
Kodwa
weapons,
ngaphezu kwezixhobo
we
zonke,
bring in the presence of
size
God.
netyeya nobuso
Bring the
bukaThixo.
ark.
Izani netyeya.
Can you imagine the enemy
Uyalicinga utshaba
watching them coming
lubabukele
to fight?
bezokulwa
They are carrying this box.
bethwele le bhokisi.
To them it's a box.
Kubo yibhokisi kaloku,
But to God's people,
kodwa kubantu bakaThixo
they know
bayayazi
God is in our midst.
uThixo phakathi kwethu,
We're carrying him.
sithwele yena.
So they said, let's bring the ark of the
Bathi
covenant.
masize nayo
If we
ityeyo,
carry it into the battle with
ukuba
us,
siye nayo edabini
it will save
iya
us
kusisindisa
from our enemies.
kwiintshaba zethu.
Child of God, you are safe
Mntwana kaThixo
in the shadow of the Almighty God.
ethunzini likaThixo wakho.
Don't leave his presence behind.
Ungabushiyi ubukho bakhe
Moses
ngasemva.
said, Lord,
uMoses wathi,
you want us to walk away from here?
ufuna
We
sihambe
will
kule
not
ndawo,
move
asizushiye
if you don't come with
ukuba
us.
uhambi nathi.
The presence of God.
bukaThixo.
So they sent men to Shiloh
Bathumela amadoda
to
eShilo
bring the ark of the covenant of the
eze
Lord,
netyeyo yomnqophiso
of the
kaThixo
heavens armies.
wemikhosi yezulu.
I like the New Living Translation.
Ndiyayithanda ke le
It
nguqulelo.
says it was the ark of the
Ithi
Lord
yityeya
of the
yomnqophiso kaThixo
heavens armies.
wemikhosi
What
yezulu.
does that mean?
Thetha ukuthini
The
lo?
army of Israel,
Umkhosi
when they
kaSirayeli
brought the presence of
xa
God,
besiza nobukho
they
bukaThixo,
enlisted the
bazibhalisa
armies of heaven
bhalisa umkhosi
to
wamazulu
come with them.
ukubuze nabo.
It was not just 4,000 strong men.
Bingazibanga amadoda
It was 4,000 strong men with the host of the heavenly army.
kunye nomkhosi wezulu.
Honor the presence
Hlonipha ubukho
of God.
bukaThixo.
All right? I like what it says. So they sent men to Shiloh to bring the ark of the covenant, the Lord of heaven's armies, who is enthroned
Ohlele etroneni
between the cherubim.
phakathi kwekerubi.
Where is that?
Iphi lo ndawo?
On either side of the ark were two cherubims
Emacaleni
with their
omabili
wings touching each
eziko,
other,
kwakukho ikerubi
covering what?
zidibana besogquma
The mercy seat,
zisogquma isihlalo senceba
where the priest
apho
would
umbingeleli
sprinkle the blood.
wayefefa khona igazi.
But the writer in the book of
Kodwa
Hebrews,
kumbhali
he
wencwadi
said, now in the new covenant,
uthi kulo mnqophiso
the blood that is sprinkled
igazi
on that
elifefwayo
mercy seat
kwesa sihlalo
is the
senceba
blood that says,
ligazi elithi
you are forgiven.
uxolelwe.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It's the blood that says,
Igazi elithi
intetelelo, forgiveness.
Xolelo.
Intetelelo.
yes.
You were accused. You
Ubutyolwa,
were guilty. But
unetyala.
because of this blood,
Kodwa ngenxa yeli
you
gazi,
are now forgiven.
uxolelwe
Oh, glory to
ngokuthethelelwa.
Jesus.
Makabongwe uYesu.
Uh-huh. Okay. Hophni and Phinehas, the sons of Eli,
uHofni
who
noFiniya onyana
brought shame to the camp,
abazisihlazo
who
ekabini,
were never rebuked by their father,
ababengakhalinyelwanga nguyise,
who was supposed to rebuke them,
owayemele ubakhalimele,
but were running havoc.
Kodwa-
Read what these guys did.
besenza
They would sleep with people's wives
ngawufunda uba babesenza nabafana belala
in the
nabafazi babantu
tabernacle.
phaya kanye emnqubeni,
And their father said nothing.
angathethi kwanto uyise.
They would use utensils
Basebenzisa
that
izitya
were meant to be used by the priests,
ezazimele usetyenziswa
and
ngababingeleli,
yet they were not priests.
babe bona bengengobabingeleli.
Their father said nothing.
Uyise wathula,
Honor the presence of God.
uhlonipha ubukho bukaThixo.
Okay, so they were there.
Babe pha
And then it says we're also there with the Ark of the Covenant of God. Is this not amazing? That the moment you get familiar with the things of God, you can be in the presence of God, but it doesn't touch you.
You silly even in the presence of God.
Because you don't honor. And yet the cherubim and the seraphim are bowing before him, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. They lift up their heads, they see him again, and they say, Holy, holy. And you, means nothing. Right? Tell the person across the street, not you as such, but he's just preaching. So they brought the covenant of God, the Ark of the Covenant. Look at verse 5. When all the Israelites saw the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord coming into the camp, their shout of joy was so loud. What happened? Now come on, talk to me. They shouted so loud until what happened? It made the ground to shake. These are people who understand the presence of God. What excites you? What is it that you shout until the ground shakes? Is it the presence or other things? These people shouted so bad that it shook the ground. Look at verse 6. What's going on? The Philistines heard them from their camp. What's all the shouting about in that church?
What are they shouting about?
Hallelujah. When they were told it was because the Ark of the Lord had arrived. Bekhwaza kangaka nje ngoba uThixo ufikile phakathi kwabo. Abakwazi usibamba. They can't keep quiet. Oh, glory to Jesus. Revive us, oh God. That again, our priority will be the Ark of God. Revive us again. We have attributed our shout to other things. We're bringing it back. We're going to shout when God shows up in our presence. Because we know when He shows up, we are safe. We are safe. The armies of heaven come to join us. Oh, glory to Jesus. We are safe. Oh, glory to Jesus. Why are they making so much noise? It's because the Ark of the Lord had arrived. Look at verse 7. What did they do? They panicked. The enemy heard the shout and heard why they were shouting. The enemy knew we just defeated them when the ark was not there. But now that the ark is here, we are in trouble. Oh, hallelujah. Let the devil know when you begin to praise God because of the presence. The devil must shake in his boots because he knows you are not the ordinary. The heavenly host has come to join you. Oh, glory to Jesus. We're fighting battles by ourselves. And yet the ark of God has been left behind. I don't care how much you bind, how much you rebuke. If you don't have the presence, nothing moves. So they panicked. Listen to what they say. The gods have come into their camp. They cried, this is a disaster. We have never had to face anything like this before. Remember, they just defeated the Israelites. But after that shout, they knew until
the ground shook. This has never been seen.
Verse 8, help! Who can save us from these mighty gods of Israel? They are the same gods who destroyed the Egyptians with plagues when Israel was in the wilderness. Fight as never before, Philistines. If you don't, we will become the Hebrew slaves, just as they've been ours. Stand up like men and fight. Do you feel that all hell is broken loose against you? I am telling you why. It's because the devil knows I cannot retreat anymore. I have reached bottom low. Let me give my best shot. Are you gonna retreat? Not when the presence is there. So the Philistines fought desperately, and Israel was defeated again. Why? Why? Eli, the leader, permitted. Oh yes. They, his subordinates, know when the presence is here, we are safe, but not the leader. What's happening in your house? What have you permitted? What's happening in your business? What have you permitted? What's happening in your life? What have you permitted? The slaughter was great. 30,000 Israelite soldiers died that day. The survivors turned and fled to their tents. Listen to this. Verse 11. The ark of God was captured. They knew if we can just take that box, they are weak. The box was in possession of those who did not honor it. The enemy captured the ark. And listen to what happened next. And Hophni and Phinehas, the two sons of Eli, were killed. Here comes the third story. A man from the tribe of Benjamin ran from the battlefield and arrived at Shiloh later that same day. He had torn his clothes and put dust on his head to show his grief. Verse 13, Eli was waiting beside the road to hear the news of the battle, for his heart trembled for the safety of the ark of God. But he did nothing. When the messenger arrived and told what had happened, an outcry resounded throughout the town. What is all the noise about? Eli asked. The messenger rushed over to Eli, who was 98 years old and blind. You dishonor the presence. Your strength leaves you. Vision is lost. That's why you end up in places you were never meant to be. Vision is lost. So he was 98 years and blind. Verse 16. He said to Eli, I have just come from the battlefield. I was there this very day. What happened, my son? Eli demanded. Israel has been defeated by the Philistines. The messenger replied, the people have been slaughtered. Your two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were also killed. And the ark of God has been captured. When the messenger mentioned what had happened to the ark of God, Eli fell backward from his seat beside the gate. He broke his neck and died. For he was old and overweight. He had been Israel's judge for 40 years. But towards the end of his life, he compromised. How are you going to finish in this race? Oh yes, you started well. How are things now? He died. Verse 19. Eli's daughter-in-law, the wife of Phinehas, was pregnant and near her time of delivery. When she heard that the ark of God had been captured and that her father-in-law and husband were dead, she went into labor and gave birth. Hey,
what are we giving birth to?
When the presence of God is not there. Verse 20. She died in childbirth. But before she passed away, the midwives tried to encourage her. Don't be afraid, they said. You have a baby boy. But she did not answer or pay attention to them. Verse 21. She named the child Ichabod, which means, where is the glory? Where is the glory? You know what happens when that presence leaves you? The glory of God goes.
You become an ordinary person
who means nothing to the devil. Please treasure the presence of God. So before she died, she said, this child who was born in the absence of God's presence, every time they call his name, they will remember that there was a time in Israel where they dishonored God and his presence left. For she said, Israel's glory is gone. She named him this because the ark of God had been captured and because her father-in-law and husband were dead. Then she said, the glory has departed from Israel.
lumkile
For
kwaSirayeli
the ark of God
ngokuba itye kaThixo
has been captured.
ithinjiwe.
Child of God,
Ntwana kaThixo,
we are not talking like this
asithethi kanje
because you've
Kuba-
lost his presence.
uphulukene nobukho bakhe.
No.
Ah,
On the other hand,
kwelinye icala ke
what if you've lost it?
ukuba ke mhlawumbi ulahlekelwe bubukho bakhe,
You're just going through emotions here.
so udlula nje ke ngoku kwimizwa.
It's your thing to be in church.
Into yakho nje uba senkonzweni,
But where is the glory of God?
kodwa lona luphi uzuko lukaThixo?
What presence are you carrying,
Uthwele ubukho buyintoni
even as you're sitting here?
nangoku uhleli apha?
Because you can't be without some presence.
Ngokuba awunawuhlala ungenanto oyithweleyo.
What are you carrying?
Uthweleni?
But if you're carrying his presence,
Kodwa ubuthwele ubukho bakhe.
can I encourage you?
Ndingakukhuthaza
Honor the presence of God.
hloniphe ubukho bukaThixo.
The biggest danger
Ingozi
we
enkulu
can find ourselves in
esinozibona sikuyo
is when we become familiar
uxa sinozibona siqhela
with the presence of God.
ubukho bukaThixo.
You're keeping on losing every battle.
Uqhubeleke uphulukana
You are
namadala.
defeated everywhere.
Woyiswe yonke indawo.
You are a laughing stock everywhere.
Ube inhlekisa yonke indawo.
What's worse, they say,
Kude ke ngobathi
no, he just goes to Raq.
hayi lo uhamba nje pha eRaq.
We know him.
Siyamazi,
We know her.
siyamazi.
No different from us.
Akho kwamahluko kuthi lo.
The glory of God
Uzuko
is
lukaThixo
gone.
luhambile.
But God is saying to us in this season,
Kodwa uThixo uthi kuthi kweli thuba
just like the sons of Korah
kanye njengonyana bakaKora
in Psalm 84,
kwindumiso 84.
they say, will you revive us
Bathi ungasivuselela
again,
nabakhona
O God?
Thixo wethu.
My friend, all hope is not lost.
Akuphelanga themba mhlobo wam.
You can swallow your pride
Ungaliginya nawe iqhaji lakho
and say, Lord,
uthi Nkosi
revive me again.
ndivuselele kwakhona.
Revive me again.
Ndivuselele kwakhona.
Every head bowed and every eye closed.
Ngela siziqubuthe inhloko bethuna sivala amehlo.
Revive me again.
Ndivuselele kwakhona.
Can I ask if you are here
Ndingakucela ndithi ubulapha
and that's the cry of your heart?
sisikhalo senhliziyo yakho
There's no
eso.
shame in this.
Akho hlazo kule nto.
You want me to pray with you?
Ndiyafuna ndithandaze nawe.
And ask you to stand up on your feet
Ndingakucela ume ngenyawo
and say, Lord,
uthi Nkosi
revive me
ndivuselele